Welcome to Soul Tales Daily, where simple stories echo deep emotions, joy, sorrow, greed, and glimpses of humanity. Stay a while, maybe you'll find yourself in one of them. Right finger hit subscribe and make every day a story to remember. Dizzy. London, a city of secret curses and powerful families, where love is seen as a wild rose growing among proud marble. But tonight, under the gloomy sky that embraces the towering Tower Bridge, two young souls have rewritten destiny. They will not accept tragedy. Together they will hold on to an absolute love, regardless of the storms of prejudice and hatred. London, an October night immersed in a sad rain. The water drops danced on the old tiled roof, washing away the dust of time and the fake glamour of the upper class. The thick rain was also the curtain protecting a long-standing feud that was smoldering, dividing two powerful families like the two banks of the Thames River. The most lavish charity exhibition, where the warmth of the fireplace and the scent of expensive perfume mixed together to create a stuffy atmosphere, Elias Blackwood appeared like a living sculpture. He was the embodiment of expectation, with his sleek black hair neatly combed, accentuating his angular, cold face, and his characteristic aristocratic porcelain white skin. His elegant charcoal gray woolen vest hugged his tall, sturdy figure, every step exuding an air of inherited pride. However, hidden deep within those dark brown eyes was a lingering weariness and a burning desire to escape the golden cage of fame that his family had set up. In a forgotten corner of the room, Lyra Vance stood silently like a classical painting. She was the daughter of a name despised by the Blackwood upper class, but that did not overshadow her beauty. Lyra had wavy brown hair that fell loosely over her shoulders, a healthy, slightly tanned skin, and deep green eyes like the London Ocean at night, containing resilience and secret pain. The classic navy blue evening gown, made of light silk, was not luxurious but accentuated her resilient, ethereal beauty, making her stand out like a lonely flame in a sea of frivolous people. Her gestures were gentle, but she always kept an invisible distance, not letting anyone touch her inner world. Elias approached, carrying the cold, damp rain that lingered on his coat, creating a breeze that contrasted with the stuffy air inside. "Elias, you won't dance, Miss Vance? Or are you afraid this luxury will overshadow your true light?" Lyra turned around. The corners of her thin lips curled up in defiance, her green eyes like blades that did not shy away from the scrutiny of her sworn enemy. "Lyra, this luxury, Mr. Blackwood, is but a delicate mask. I fear the true light will reveal the cracks beneath it, like the meaningless and rotten hatred of your family." Lyra's words were sharp and cutting. But instead of anger, Elias smiled, a rare smile that had never appeared on his aristocratic face before. He knew, in that moment, his pride had melted, defeated by this strong and honest beauty. They began their secret meetings, like thieves stealing time from fate. Under the ancient oak trees in romantic Hyde Park, along the windswept banks of the Thames, they are no longer the burdens of their families, but simply Elias and Lyra, people yearning for pure love, the kind of love that the whole world seems to want to deny. That sinful love, nurtured by furtiveness and desire, could not be hidden forever. Lord Alistair Blackwood, Elias's uncle and guardian, could not escape his sharp eyes. Alistair was the embodiment of ultimate viciousness and unshakable political power. He had neatly cut gray hair, a cold, austere face carved from marble, and calculating gray-blue eyes, hiding a terrifying cruelty. He always wore a powerful black suit, every gesture was decisive and cruel, exuding the aura of a man ready to crush everything, everyone who stood in the way of the family's glory. He considered this love a humiliation, an indelible stain on the great Blackwood name. Alistair faced Elias in the darkened library. The smell of precious wood and leather only added to the oppressive atmosphere, and the flickering light from the fireplace made his face appear and disappear, making him seem even more cruel. "Alistair, you are destroying everything I have built, Elias. The Vance daughter is a stain. A political disaster. Stop it now, or I will make sure you both pay the ultimate price for this betrayal, a price that cannot be measured." To force Elias to submit, Alistair begins to arrange a political marriage, shackling his future to a bond of fame and fortune. Faced with the tragedy of separation and a bleak future, Elias decides to take a bold action. He writes a letter to Lyra, asking her to meet him at the most sacred and sacred place in London, St. Paul's Cathedral. Lyra arrived at St. Paul's Cathedral. Inside, soft light filtered through the stained glass windows, painting a rich, sacred hue on the stone floor. She wore a simple, long dress, her brown hair pulled back in a bun, her face tense but her eyes filled with determination. Elias held Lyra tightly under the soaring arches of the cathedral. His breath was ragged with fear, but his dark brown eyes burned with desire for freedom, for a new life with her. Elias. We're leaving London, Lyra. There will be no more Blackwood or Vance, just the two of us. Are you willing to leave your reputation, everything, and come with me? Lyra. Where you go, I go, Elias. I'd rather die loving you than live another moment in their senseless hatred. As soon as the oath was finished, a loud crash shattered the solemn atmosphere. Alistair and his guards, all dressed in cold black uniforms, rushed in. He had been watching them. His face was cold as ice, hiding the cruel triumph of a victor. Alistair. It was romantic, but it's over. Lyra Vance, I'm sorry, but you have no choice but to disappear from this world forever. He ordered his guards to arrest Lyra. In the chaos, Elias struggled fiercely with his guards, trying to protect Lyra. He knew that if he let her fall into Alistair's hands, her life would be ruined. Lyra, with her innate resilience, also resisted fiercely. She did not want to be a hostage, did not want their love to be tarnished. In the midst of the struggle, a guard accidentally dropped Lyra's bag, revealing a small vial of medicine. Alistair saw this, his eyes flashing with cruelty. He believed that Lyra had prepared the poison, and this was his chance to end things the way he wanted, to bring the tragedy to a climax to deter Elias. Don't touch her, Elias roared, pushing aside a guard and rushing towards Lyra. He grabbed her arm. We will not surrender. No one will die for this. Lyra looked into Elias's determined eyes, and her heart felt strengthened. She knew they had to get through this together. No matter how powerful Alistair was, he could not control their will and their love. As Alistair ordered his guards to attack, an unexpected scene occurred. An old maid, who had witnessed many tragedies of the Blackwood family, suddenly rushed forward to shield Elias and Lyra. She knelt down and begged Alistair. My lord, enough. This feud has taken too many lives. Please let these children live. Please give their love a chance. Her heartbreaking plea made Alistair stop. His cruel eyes wavered. Although Alistair was cruel, he still had a bit of conscience hidden by his pride. He stared at Elias and Lyra holding hands, then looked at the old maid. A glint of light flashed in his cold, blue-gray eyes. He could not let Elias die, because he was the only heir, the future of the Blackwood family. He also couldn't publicly kill Lyra in the church, that would cause a terrible scandal. Alistair made a cruel but wise decision. Alistair. All right, I will give you a chance. But on one condition. You will leave London, leave England. You will never be allowed back. Your names will be erased from all records. You will no longer be Blackwood or Vance. You will die in my eyes and in the eyes of the whole of society. He glanced at the maid, and you, old woman, if they do not comply, you will pay the price. Lyra and Elias looked at each other. They would lose their reputations, their status, their families, but they would have each other, a future of freedom. It was a small price to pay for the love they had for each other. Elias. We agree. We will leave, and we will never return. Alistair. Good. Then go away. Now. Under the dim candlelight of St. Paul's Cathedral, Elias and Lyra, embracing each other, left. They were no longer burdens to their families, no longer victims of a long-standing feud. They were Elias and Lyra, lovers, who had chosen freedom and happiness. The sudden disappearance of Elias Blackwood and Lyra Vance sent shockwaves through London's upper class. Lord Alistair Blackwood was left with many questions and rumors. Although he retained power, the event made him realize that blind pride and hatred can push people to the brink of eternal loss. Alistair, deep down, had lost a vital part of himself, the nephew he had always pinned his hopes on. Loneliness began to eat away at him. Elias and Lyra, with a fresh start, found happiness in a foreign land. They built a simple life, without the pressure of fame or status. Their love, tested by fire and water, became stronger. They lived like ordinary people, but their souls were filled with the richness of love and freedom. They were living proof that love can overcome all barriers, all curses. The Blackwood and Vance families, after this event, gradually understood the price of hatred. Although they could not completely heal, they began to learn to let go, leaving the painful past behind. The feud, although not completely gone, was no longer a burden that dominated their lives. The story is a strong affirmation that love, with its intense power, can overcome all prejudice and hatred. It is a lesson about choice, about daring to give up the shackles of fame and status to pursue true happiness. Pride and meaningless hostility ultimately lead to tragedy, but love and forgiveness open a path to awakening and a fulfilling life. If you believe that true love is eternal, powerful enough to rewrite destiny, Please subscribe and bell to not miss our next emotional, profound and heart-touching stories. Love, whether tragic or happy, always deserves to be told.